So, uh, quite an exciting forecast coming up, guys. Good morning. My name is Tim Ealer, meteorologist, and we're seeing the potential for southern snow here. And what I'm running here is the NAM 12 kilometer model. A lot of people aren't a fan of the NAM, but this is the first time one of the models have come into range. This is 84 hours out. Okay. Um, and so when I looked at this, I was very excited. I love snow. Just like my friend Mitch West, we both love snow. It looks very, very similar to the setup, almost exactly like the setup we had, at least a little, not quite as cold, but that we had last year about this time, when we got 4 inches of snow here in middle Georgia. So, where the cold areas, where this sets up, I mean, man, we're on the razor's edge. But that's what I'm going to talk about today. But first, I'm going to go over the Climate Prediction Center outlooks, the local area forecast, and then I'm going to delve into deeper details about the different model runs, my thinking on it, and do my best to spend as much time as I can talking about it. And there'll be timestamps throughout the video, so you can fast forward to where you want to. Like and subscribe, of course. Please do that, and share with your friends. I have a passion for the weather, and I get, a little bit disappointed when people don't watch as many as I thought they should, because this is exciting to me. But either way, I love the weather. I'm continuing to do this, and let's get started here. So this is the current radar, with temperatures overlaid on top of it here. Got snowfall further to the north here. Heavy snow in some areas up here in the along the Great Lakes, with cold, brutally cold temperatures up here as well, and some northwest snow coming over the Appalachians in the lake effect favorite areas. Chicago, South Bend. Look at that lake effect streamer coming off of there. Cold front's already pushed through. Right. So we got the rain in Florida, and maybe rain changing to snow on the East Coast, and up into parts of northwest Maine today. So temperatures for the nation generally in the 20s, the teens here, depending where you're at. But overall, not brutally cold just yet, but that's going to change in the coming days. Colder temps further to the north here in Alaska and Canada are going to spill southward eventually. First push of cold air, and cold air again will push further to the south. So what are the current hazards? Quite a big split here. The hazards along the eastern part of the U.S. related to snow, cold weather, and wind, right? And then out west, we have stagnant air here. Air stagnation, air quality alerts, freezing fog, just with stagnant air all along the coast here, as well as the California Valley, and wind advisory in the Los Angeles area again till tomorrow. Gusts up to 50 miles per hour continuing here. And to the east, we got a cold weather advisory. Wind chills as low as 16 along the Gulf Coast today, right? And special weather statement for fire concerns here, as well as some cold weather advisories further to the north here. Although they're not showing up on this map because they're kind of hidden here. There's some cold weather advisories underneath this right here. And we have a winter weather advisory and cold weather advisory. This is showing up here. That's part of that. More special weather statements with fire danger concerns, winter weather advisory to the Appalachians, all along the lee side of the lakes here with different lake effect snow warnings. Let's see, winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, right? And where that precip is here, you have winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories as well. Around Lake Michigan, same thing, right? So quite a lot going on the East Coast today, along the in the eastern U.S. today. Excuse me. I'll also have some wind advisories here as well in the North Carolina, Virginia mountains, and also got some special weather statement up here and dense fog advisories up in the northern Maine this morning. So there's a cold weather advisory in place for parts of Georgia today as a cold front pushes through, and so this is one of the hazards we're talking about here, depending on where you're at. So for the northeast Georgia into parts of southwest Georgia, depending on where you're at, of course, southwest Georgia, excuse me, will not be as cold, but up north here, it feels like temperatures -2 to 5 F, 10 to 15 wind chills across the remainder of north and central Georgia. So if you're going to venture out, be mindful of this, all right? So with the dry air coming into the state, of course, you have lower humidities with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour and dry fuels. High fire danger statement is out for most of the state here, all the way down to South Georgia, okay? So, and points east. So don't burn today, okay? Be, if you're going to, be smart about it and contact your local fire weather office or 911 center and make sure you're allowed to burn right now. So be safe out there, guys. So low temperatures tonight. Gonna be brutally cold. Just for actual temperatures here, 20s, low 20s in Macon, up to the teens further to the north here, the northeast Georgia. So you can imagine with 10 mile per hour winds, what the temps will be. It's going to be very cold. So you're going to venture out tonight, put layers on, cover up tonight. Excuse me, tomorrow. It's an interesting graphic. I don't know if this is quite accurate, but yeah, I guess it is. But warming up a little bit tomorrow. High in the mid to upper 40s in North Georgia to mid to low 50s for far South Georgia with sunny or partly cloudy skies tomorrow. As far as the 15-day temperature outlook, I show this every day. I hope you all find this useful. Um, so for today, high in the 40s, low, interesting, 29, which is probably tonight's low. Tomorrow night or tonight, Thursday night, right? Gonna be colder, right? Generally below normal through next Thursday. Maybe warming up to slightly above normal and trending back to below normal or near normal temps for highs and lows towards the end of the period. So quite a roller coaster here and around the January 19th, 18th time frame. Expectations, especially Sunday, could have some wintry weather in our area. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I'll talk about that today too. So this is the European Ensemble graphic showing all the members, the 50 members in this model, right? Each one is with a set of different initial conditions. Okay, so when we look at this, we're talking about snowfall here, right? Total snowfall. From where I'm is Georgia. All right, this is where I'm at, and this is a point forecast, right? Based on location, I can't. I don't have. At least I can't find the tools that shows like for the whole state. So, and I'm going to work on that. But for now, you can see there's quite a few members here. Probably almost all of them, with the exception of maybe 10, or a little bit more than that, that show um, some snowfall falling here in middle Georgia, um, right, starting around the 19th. So confidence is relatively high that we will probably get something, at least right now. So keep in mind this is 4 days out, but we're getting in that time frame of interest where time frame that the trend is your friend, right? So we'll review those model guidance as part of this as well. So as far as the day 3 to 7 hazards outlook, we have the risk of high winds here, the 17th to the 18th in the northern high plains into the central plains, but no other hazards expected during this period for the continental U.S. or into Alaska. When we move on to days 8 to 14 and the hazards here, starting with the risk of heavy precip, the 22nd to the 28th of this month. The Climate Prediction Center is highlighting this area in the Tennessee Valley for a moderate risk of heavy precip, which means rainfall, and slight risk surrounding it the 22nd to the 25th. Generally in the southeast to the deep south to the parts of the Ohio Valley and points west where this green circle is here with the dotted lines. Otherwise, no other risks here for heavy precip. Excuse me, as far as snow goes. Definitely with this time frame, we're talking about snow in the northern tier of the U.S., potential heavy snow during these different periods here, right? So, and this is outlined in the Climate Prediction Center outlook as well, as far as where coldest temps will be. So, it's not necessarily, you know, uncommon to have this kind of pattern set up this time of year. We get further into this with risk of high winds, the 22nd through the 28th, slight risk of high winds, the 22nd through the 26th here out west. Generally to the west of the Rockies with some areas on the lee side of the Rockies also, and points south here. So generally most of the western U.S., the exception of Texas and far southern tier, southwest U.S. With the high winds. Temperatures, moderate risk of below normal temps on the far northern tier of the U.S. with this pattern, this northwest flow pattern here, the 24th through the 26th, and the slight risk the 22nd through the 28th as well. Yeah, so in the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook for the Climate Prediction Center, this is in the midterm here, next week time frame, 20th through the 24th. This northwest flow contributing to cold air in these areas. The darker blues indicate more confidence in the below normal temps to near normal in this gray area, to above normal in the red orange areas, with the most confidence in the desert southwest here. Alaska, Hawaii expected to be near normal, Aleutian Islands above normal as well. We go to the 6 to 10 day precip outlook, above normal for a good portion of the U.S., at least trending that way, especially in the the Tennessee Valley, Ohio Valley, and really the northwest and the southeast, the far southeast and the Florida, the only places in the continental U.S. With below normal precip looking somewhat likely here. Hawaiian Islands above, Alaska above and below, further to the south, and Aleutian Islands either above or near normal precip chances during this period. When we look at the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, you see why they're outlining hazards further to the north of colder temps. Generally, splitting the nation in half, with the exception of far out west, with maybe a high pressure hanging on out here out west. dips in the jet stream, kind of like that. We could have some overrunning along the boundary here with the snow, right, and cold air. So wherever this boundary sets up will be important in the coming days for temps and for precip. Above normal temps in Alaska again, continuing Aleutian Islands as well, far to the southeast, Alaska below to near normal in Hawaii, and going to the 8 to 14 day outlook, that above normal precip trend continues, and I highlighted this kind of in the 8 to 14 day hazards outlook as well. So kind of lining up here with the precip outlook from the CPC here as well, which is this, you go back to the precip outlook, there's that. So for most of the nation, either above or near normal precip chances during the period. Alaska, depending where you're at, like always, it's a big state, either above or near normal. Excuse me. Above or near normal in Aleutian Islands, and above looking likely here in Hawaii. So the week 3 to 4 temperature outlook with the CPC was issued the 9th, excuse me, will be reissued, looks like tomorrow, right, the 16th. I think it'll be a continuation of this split with the temperatures in the northern tier, maybe a northwest flow with above normal temperatures out west here still. So, and it's what they're saying, right? With this outlook. So we'll see what they say tomorrow. Below, equal chances are above, especially in the southwest U.S. to along the west coast here. Below normal in Alaska, above normal temps in Hawaii, either above or equal chances in Aleutian Islands. And we look at precip, again, as we said the past several days, what's going to happen here. Maybe a return to more precip in the northwest coast and inland here. Equal chances for a good portion of the U.S. below up here in the northern tier, the north, Midwest, and the Northeast, and along the Mid-Atlantic above. Equal chances are below in Alaska, above in Hawaii, and below equal chances in Aleutian Island chain. So let's start talking about the wind and weather here. We really have a lot to work out with this, but for the first time we come within one of the short to mid-range models, the 12-kilometer NAM, North American model. And the NAM is notorious for not doing some things correctly, but one of the things it's good at is dealing with warm noses. I got excited when I saw this, guy. So you can see what's happening here. I know not everybody's a fan of winter weather, right? But this is exciting, right? And I'll be disappointed, of course, if it doesn't happen. But I'm really excited about this, and I would love to see my granddaughter be able to play in the snow again this year. We had snow here last year, quite exciting, and whether this happens or not, I'm still going to get excited about it. And it just, you can see where the snow is going to set up here, at least according to this model. All right, so I'm going to stop this here. So this is right at the end of this 6Z run of the NAM, okay? If we go back one run, it doesn't go far enough out, right? At the latest run, you go all the way out. Quite an interesting setup here. It's one to develop a low pressure right here, okay? Flows moisture up into this. Initially starts maybe some freezing rain and sleet for the central part of Georgia, but you see the overrunning here. Of course, places closer to it, wherever the low pressure sets up is, we'll get some warmer air aloft, right? but it also depends whether this low tracks, okay? So this is a zoomed out view of the national view, right? We go to a more closer up view, okay, of the NAM, all right? Saturday, first push of moisture, and then bam, all right? Here's the rain snow line. I mean, heavy snow here, guys. Possible wherever this band sets up. Will this be exactly like this? I doubt it. But hey, pretty exciting here. So one of the things we can look at for the profile of the atmosphere is the different levels of the atmosphere and the temperature in Celsius. Okay. So even if maybe the surface temp to like 500 feet is slightly above freezing, right? And we have cold temperatures all the way up through the column, and the column is moist enough and cold enough in the layer where the snowfall, the flakes are forming, right? Has to be between negative 10 and 20 Celsius in that layer, right? And has to be moist enough to form snowflakes, right? As they fall through the column. As long as the temperature profile is not warm more than like 1,000 meters or so above freezing, they may melt a little bit, but and they may turn into sleet if it cools off again. But so anyway, at the mid levels, plenty cold. They got negative, um, 16 to 17 Celsius here, 700 millibars still, which is lower in the atmosphere. As we get closer, the millibar level changes, gets higher, right? Um, Temperature profiles at this level in the atmosphere are below freezing, below freezing still, okay? 850. This is where the line is here. Like, you can see the 0 Celsius line here, which is 32, okay? So, this is the boundary here. Like, we're looking at rain and snow at the end of this period, right? You have a little bit of overlap here, and this is the Goldilocks zone really for heavy snow, okay? 920 at the surface. Near the surface is colder, right? So you have a little bit of a warm nose, but not overly so, right? Um, so it depends on the strength of the low and where it moves. The eventual track of this is very important, okay? So if it forms here and tracks, just depends, guys. So the devil is in the details with this. So my goodness, this is going to be interesting forecast. So let's talk about snowfall amounts with this model. All right. Now, you know, I I'm not sure. This is kind of the beginning of this event. So, further to the west here into parts of Alabama, the NAM is showing potential um, 6 inches of snow here. This is the beginning of this event. So, the way that the radar looks, it really looks like heavy snow is ongoing right at the beginning of this, at the end of this model run. So, once we get further into this today, we'll look at this closer and maybe get within the range of the NAM 3 kilometer, the HRR, within 48 hours. Then we'll really have a better handle on stuff. So, looks like max of 8.6 here. So, bullseye right up in here. So, um, let's look at the radar again. Here we go. Yeah, so here's the radar again. So You see the heaviest precip is right about in here, snow. Okay, so quite an interesting model run. So we'll keep an eye on this, guys. I'm going to go over a few different other global models as well, real quickly, so you have some more information. But I'm kind of running out of time, so I'm going to go through those pretty quick here next. So the euro is backed off a little bit when we get into this range of the snowfall, right? Not as moist as it was in past runs, previous runs. You see what I'm talking about here? Although it's still there, and you know, I expect some changes still with this. So we'll see what the trends are as we get through the next couple of days. But I think our attention is going to turn to the short to mid-range models in the next day or so. So I don't know how well these global models are going to perform when we get to this range. And of course, I'm always learning as well. But this is the European showing where the snow would be, right, with this event. And it misses on the East Coast as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. And this is the European 0Z, right, with a vorticity. It really doesn't get a negative tilt to further offshore with this run, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And these are the snowfall totals with the European. Getting into Sunday, you see right along the coast here, projecting some snow. So I don't like this trend, but you know, we'll see what happens. You get further in the period, may potential for heavy snow further out, but we'll talk about that at another time. Yeah, so that's it for the European model right now. You know, we got to take all these models into consideration, of course, but I'm going to start leaning towards the short range models as we get closer. So the 6C GFS is to holding on for the prospect of snow into Alabama. It more looks like the NAM, okay, for this event. Although it's a whiff for the northeast quarter here still. So we go back one run, it was further to the west, right? So it shifted back further to the east a little bit. And I expect these changes to continue, you know, but again, we should start looking at short range and mid range models. Okay. But I would argue that most of the models in agreement that we're going to get snow somewhere here. Where it's exactly going to set up. Boy, tough forecast, guys. So look at vorticity with a 6Z run. Gets more of a negative tilt further to the east, right? And that's maybe the reason why it's a little further east on this run. But wait a minute, this is the wrong. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so kind of an interesting evolution here. Well, just have to see how this plays out, you know? Complex interaction of different up mid-level features, just very, I don't know, guys. This is one of the tougher forecasts that I've seen. So yeah, man. Well, snowfall totals. Going through time here, in northern tier of the U.S., see the most snow, but you can see the GFS is still holding on to heavy snowfall. Heavy meaning for us in the central Georgia and North Carolina, I mean, 5-6 inches potential here. So, right, all the way, it just goes out to sea. It doesn't really take a beeline to the northeast here. So, we go through time with this, get towards the end of this run, 24 January. This is a home, this model isn't done running yet, but we're not that interested in the rest of this at this point, I don't think, because interested in this weekend more than anything, guys. So, I don't know. it's hard to really put this into words other than he's a meteorologist. I know there's a lot of uncertainty this far out, but as a person, I'm excited about the snow and I want to see some snow. So I hope it's going to snow, but if it doesn't, you know, I'm going to be logical about it and talk about all the parameters here. Hopefully, you all get something out of it, and hope you have a good day. And we'll continue to be active on social media and other things. And thanks for watching, and God bless.